G6PD test is a test that measures the level of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase G6PD, which is an enzyme in our blood. An enzyme is a type of protein that is important for our cell functions. G6PD will help the red blood cells function normally. It also protects them from potentially harmful byproducts that can accumulate when our body is fighting infection or as the result of certain medications. A lack of G6PD may make the RBCs more vulnerable to breaking down in a process called hemolysis. A G6PD test is a simple that requires a blood sample. It is a typical oral test for G6PD deficiency. G6PD deficiency is an inherited disorder. It's most common in men of African, Asian, or Mediterranean descent. It's the result of X-linked recessive transmission, which means it's much more likely to affect men as opposed to women. The deficiency can lead to a certain type of anemia known as a hemolytic anemia. The G6PD test is often used to determine the cause of hemolytic anemia, and G6PD protects oxygen-rich RBCs from chemicals called the reactive oxygen species or ROS. ROS will out in our body during a fever or infections, when we take a certain medications, and when we eat the fava beans. If our G6PD levels are too low, our RBCs won't be protected from these chemicals. Thus, the blood cells will die, leading to anemia. Certain foods and medications, infections, and severe stress can trigger a hemolytic episode. A hemolytic episode is the rapid destruction of RBCs. In people with hemolytic anemia, the body can produce enough RBCs to replace those that have been destroyed. Qualitative tests of G6PD can be categorized into two steps, which is the fluorescent spot test and also lateral flow rapid diagnosis test (RDTS). For fluorescent spot test, the fluorescent spot test (FST) is based on the natural fluorescence of NADPH or nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphates under ultraviolet light. The G6PD produce NADPH, so the G6PD normal samples produce a bright green fluorescent spot and G6PD deficient samples do not. The test is simple and inexpensive and is robust for use in different settings with a readout within 30 minutes. However, a cold chain is needed for reagents, electricity, and training for the interpretation of results. For lateral flow rapid diagnostics test or RDTS, the qualitative tests have been made on the same diagnostic platform as malaria rapid diagnostic tests. These are operationally very well suited for malaria case management, and resources are available for training of healthcare staff. After conducting the qualitative test, the advanced test or the quantitative test can be categorized into spectrophotometric assay. Until recently, the quantitative tests have been complex laboratory tests required a good laboratory infrastructure. Recent years have seen the emergence of quantitative tests that can be used at the point of care in malaria endemic countries. These tests, however, have yet to receive the WHO pre-qualifications. For spectrophotometric assay, the spectrometry measures the G6PD activity by measuring the formation of the NADPH based on the difference in absorbance of the sample at 340 nanometer over time. This test is used in the hospital laboratories. Typically, the laboratories running this test will provide the quantitative G6PD activity value and a normal range. If a value lies within the range, the patient has a normal G6PD activity and can be prescribed either the tificoin or the primacoin. The spectrometric assay is the gold standard for quantifying G6PD enzyme activity in red blood cells, providing a weighted average of the activity for the G6PD deficiency and G6PD normal cells in any sample. Thus, it is used as a reference test against which to evaluate the performance of a new point of care test for both quantitative and qualitative. inject 100 microliter of G6PD solution into each control. For quality control of G6PD test, we have firstly the reagent for normal control, intermediate control, and also the deficiency control. What we need is a distilled water and this reagent to be dilute, and then take the pipette and set up for the 500 microliters or 0.5 ml.
Kalau cari rasanya boleh juga nak tempat.
Cut the pipette tips and then set timer for 20 minutes. Wait for 20 minutes to make sure the dissolution of this control is completely. We need to use the lab roller mixer. For about 1 hour.